YouTube, Blount County. Hey, I got a lot going on right here. Guy cutting grass over there. Fans going over there. We're back there at the Blount County Sheriff's Department. If y'all hadn't heard about the officer that got arrested last week, Trey William Parsons, James Williams, Trey Parsons the third. What a name, what a name. Yeah, I come down here, I wanted to ask questions. If y'all hadn't seen it, just follow along. I imagine a lot of people hadn't seen it. It was on Alabama.Blount, 14th, I think, of last week, Thursday. Anyways, I come down here, I wanted to ask some questions from Tim Kent. He was the one that commented on Alabama.com about the deputy. Well, I left my number. I wanted to talk to the sheriff too. I've got no response from any of them. I've already drug out 3 of their deputies. I mean, who's hiring these guys? That's what I want to know. Who's hiring? Because whoever's doing the hiring should be the one getting the firing. That's the way I look at it. Just follow along with me and check this out.
Well, for the past year, Trey Parsons worked in the Blount County Sheriff's Office, and part of his job was to take prisoners to jail. Well, now he's a prisoner himself, charged here in Jefferson County with choking one woman and sexually assaulting another.
One woman who met 27-year-old Trey Parsons on social media and moved in with him says he would often get angry. And in April, she says Parsons choked her until she couldn't breathe. Another woman who met Parsons online accuses him of sexually assaulting her last month.
They're just bullies, and they exert power over women because they can.
For the past year, the Palmerdale man worked for the Blount County Sheriff's Office.
And he transported prisoners to the Department of Corrections, or he would go pick prisoners up, like if they was one several counties away, he would go do that. And he also worked courthouse security.
Parsons abruptly resigned at the end of April.
Your honor, your name, you tarnish the badge that you wear.
Shortly after Parsons' resignation, the Blount County Sheriff's Office started its own investigation. He will likely face new charges, including harassment and assault. The Sheriff's Office will not say if the additional charges are connected to anything he may have done while on duty, but
when you're hired as a law enforcement officer, you're held to a higher standard. And it's sad we have some officers that break that standard. And we break the public's trust when we do that.
And when Parsons was being taken into the Jefferson County Jail, deputies say he took off, still wearing his handcuffs. This happened last week. They chased him down, and now he faces charges of escape as well. Live at the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, Dan Ogle, WVTM 13.
Alright, so here we are down here at the Sheriff's Department. Here's the deal. Former Blount County Sheriff's deputy is behind bars without bond in Jefferson County, accused of choking one woman and sexually abusing another, both whom he met on social media, Facebook. James William Trey Parsons III, 27, resigned April 30th after spending about a year on the Blount County force as a provisional deputy, which means he could only work under the authority of another deputy until he completed his law enforcement training. He also has a half dozen active misdemeanor warrants in Blount County. What? Jefferson County Sheriff's Chief Deputy Randy Christian said their investigators into Parsons, who lives in Palmerdale, began May 15th when an adult female reported a domestic violence incident to them. The woman said she met Parsons on social media and began a relationship with him. Eventually, she said she moved in with him on March of this year. Sweet. Alright. Said Parsons, she said, would often become angry. On April 1st, choked her to the point that she could not breathe. On May 15th, she moved out of his home. In court records, the woman claims Parsons, who also pepper sprayed her and made threats to kill her. Wow. The Sheriff's Office Domestic Violence Units obtained warrants on June 6, charging Parsons with domestic violence by strangulation. The following day, on Thursday, June 7th, sheriff's detectives went to Parsons' home to arrest him. Parsons was taken into custody in his driveway, taken to the sheriff's headquarters to be questioned. When he was taken out of the car at headquarters, he fled on foot while still in handcuffs. After a brief foot chase downtown Birmingham, he was captured and taken to the Jefferson County Jail, where he is held with no bond on charges of the domestic violence charge and new charges of escape. During the course of the investigation, Christian said, a second adult female victim came forward and reported that she had been sexually assaulted by Parsons while visiting him at his home. The second victim told investigators she had met him on social media and begun dating relationship with him. While visiting him in his home, he sexually assaulted her. On Friday, June 8th, sheriff's detectives obtained additional arrest warrants for the case charging Parsons with first-degree sodomy. Parsons, the father of a young, studied to become an emergency medical technician at Jefferson County State Community College. Also studied fire sciences at Columbia Southern University. He's a native of Sneed and attends Susan Moore High School. Remember that Susan Moore High School. A lot of people within this department and a lot of other departments around the county come from that school. Court record shows a pattern of violence-related issues. In 2009, Parsons was charged with domestic violence. That charge was dismissed. In May of this year, according to the Blount County Sheriff's Office report, Parsons got into a roadside fight with another man who was the father of one of his alleged victims. Wow. Roadside brawl. Parsons' ex-wife, who is the mother of his son, is seeking to amend their custody agreement. Father's behavior has been completely erratic, and his anger issues and multiple instances of violence have caused the mother tremendous concern about the minor child being with the father unsupervised, according to the court document. Father has had at least 5 separate relationships since the divorce from a mother that have all ended with anger and domestic violence issues. Oh, sweet guy. Authorities have not said why he has resigned from the Blount County Sheriff's Department. Operations Commander Tim Kent, Deputy Chief is what I like to call him, said they have 6 misdemeanor warrants against him with bonds totaling $18,000. Kent also said more charges could be filed against him in Blount County. What? Y'all gonna charge your own deputy? Wow. Said, if we know about 2 victims, I'm sure there are others, Christian said. I don't know where he picked up the habit of abusing women, but we're going to try and help break it. Alright, so that's the gist of the story right there. Alabama.com did a real nice job of, telling the story. Well, I got questions. Who hired this guy? That's what I got. And I was on this guy. I had people contact me through Facebook and fightdhr.com. And when they was contacting me, they was telling me that he was driving a Blount County Sheriff's minivan. I got pictures of it. I was on this guy. And I had pulled public records showing all the deputies, right? Well, he wasn't on there. So I didn't know if he was a reserve officer or what. Anyways, once I get 3 contacts about somebody, I got to start looking. And the person that first contacted me about this guy, he was dead on. But there was nothing I could do. If I didn't have the information, I'm not going to do it. But I was on this guy. So I went and pulled all the deputies. I wanted the whole staff. Me and the public records guy maybe had a misunderstanding. So in the second batch of sheriff's staff, there he is. But all this has just happened last week. I mean, I heard this guy was racing in that 4-lane between Pinson and the Blount County line. I heard he run somebody off the road. Everybody that was speaking of him it wasn't good. Well, what else is there? I mean, I can't go after this guy for speeding or whatever. I can, but I got bigger fish to fry. But I was on this guy. If I'd have had his name on them public records, I would have been down here to find out who he was. You think old Trey Parsons, you think he would choke Jay Brooks out if he was down here in Able with that badge and that gun that he's toting around? Yeah, he probably could then. Without that, I think we all know the answer to that, right? I got when he was hired. I got that. April 28th, 17. Did we not do background checks on this guy? What was that deputy's name? That sheriff at Holtonberry. I can't remember his name. He run back in 2014. That was one of the requirements he was going to have was background checks, lie detector tests, drug testing. Ryan, I don't want to murder his name. The charges of misdemeanors that Kent says he has for $18,000. I want to know what that is. What's them other charges? When he get them? He get them working, and he was working down here. He got 6 of them in a year he was working here. I don't believe so. That 2009 case just got dismissed from 2009. I want to know what them charges are. Did he take a vehicle home with him? If he was a provisions officer, he couldn't be out here without another officer. Did he take a vehicle home with him? Specifically, a little silver minivan. I'll show you a picture of it. Any complaints ever made about this guy? That's what I want to ask Tim Kent. You got any complaints on this fella, sir? That's one of the questions. I'm dying to hear out of old Kent's mouth. Did he ever book anybody into this jail behind me? And did he? Surely not, right? This guy is not APO certified. Shouldn't happen. I bet you it did. Look at old Ty Sissom. Look at him. I got him talking about smashing somebody's head in my home. On camera, guys. Talk to the sheriff right there in front of my truck right here. I was calling him Sissom. I couldn't get the public records on him. And then when I did and seen it was Sissom, not Simmons is what I was saying. It's Sissom. Ty Sissom. I mean, he still works here. Still got his Facebook page up. Well, old Trey took his Facebook down. Had him all over it with his Blount County's outfit on, big gun, taking all kinds of selfies of himself. Yeah, I had smarts enough to, while it was up, I went ahead and recorded. Just did a rough cut record over his Facebook. Because I knew when I started prying that Facebook page would come down. Well, that's where I noticed there was 26 other deputies under his Facebook page. There wasn't a link there. A friend of mine, she said, hey, just go right below his name and click. I'm like, well, there's nothing to click there. She was just click. So I clicked and it pulls up 26 other Blount County deputies, and 19 of them ain't on my list of public records that I pulled. Ain't that funny? Turns out It was the staff that works within this facility. I'm not gonna knock them. They're not out here bouncing the streets, running around in cop cars, acting a fool, as far as I know. So when they're pulling up right here, I'm killing the camera. I'm not recording. I'm not putting. This ain't about putting any of these deputies up here. It ain't. It's about standing down here and letting them know that I'm Jay Brooks. Stick your head in the sand if you want to, and ignore me, and I'll show up down here at your door. That's what this is all about. You don't think I could be doing this down at the river or at the house? I could be. I'm making my point here. This boy's running around Blount County. Who hired him? That's what I want to know. When did he get the misdemeanor charges? During his stint down here for a year? Woo! Wow. I think I'd have fired him the first misdemeanor in. That's just me. And I want to know what them charges was. I'm jbrooks.HR.com. I'm going to try to hash one out and lay it up there. Ain't nobody going to come out here and answer none of my questions. I wouldn't either. I would not either. Keep your eye on this boy here. jbrooks.HR.com.